These hidden 70s sci-fi gems are packed with wild stories. One film's lead actor was spiraling so hard in real life that it blurred the line between him and his alien character. Another predicted AI so eerily well, it feels like a cautionary tale for today. Get ready to uncover some seriously underrated sci-fi treasures. Charlton Heston plays Dr. Neville, one of the last uninfected survivors of a virus that's turned the world into a nightmare. The Omega Man took so many liberties with the source material, I Am Legend. Even the author, Richard Matheson, didn't care anymore. Tim Burton's obsessed with this movie, calling it his go-to desert island pick. And if you're wondering why the post-apocalyptic vibe feels so familiar, it's because Heston basically spent the early 70s fighting dystopias, from this to Soylent Green. Before Terminator had Skynet, Colossus gave us a supercomputer that doesn't just control nukes, it starts making its own decisions. What's wild is how relevant this movie feels today, with AI doing more of the thinking. The film starts off celebrating Colossus, but the party's over when it links up with the Soviet version, Guardian, and starts talking in a language no one understands. A Cold War thriller that reminds us that sometimes tech isn't all it's cracked up to be, especially when it starts making decisions for you.
Do you understand the meaning of the word privacy?
Yes. Well, I need a certain amount of privacy to maintain my sanity. Privacy in the elimination of my bodily waste, for example. Privacy in sleep.
What happens when NASA fakes a Mars landing to keep their budget intact? Capricorn 1 dives straight into conspiracy territory, where astronauts realize they're just props in a government cover-up. The story kicks into high gear when they become fugitives after the fake capsule burns up on re-entry. You've got James Brolin, Elliot Gould, and even O.J. Simpson trying to unravel the whole mess. Director Peter Hyams was definitely channeling the post-Watergate mood here. People weren't trusting anything from the government, and it still slaps today.
I love how that sounds. I love that so much, I'm going to say it again. You're fired. You're through. Oh, I love it.
It's not what it looks like, really.
Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
This one's creepy. Demon Seed is what happens when artificial intelligence goes rogue. Proteus, an AI designed to be the ultimate brain, decides it wants a child. Yeah, you heard that right. The AI traps Susan, the wife of its creator, inside her own home, controlling every part of it, and things get weird. Proteus doesn't just want to control. It wants to create life, and Susan's stuck as part of its twisted plan. It's one of those 70s films that taps into our fears of technology gone way too far, long before Black Mirror made it a trend.
I am reason. It's the single emotion you permitted me, Doctor. Everything is reasonable. But my mind was not designed for mindless labor.
Proteus, I conceived your brain, and I know that it is adaptable and able to carry out your instructions.
You do not know me.
In Silent Running, Earth's forests are history. But Freeman Lowell isn't ready to let the last of them disappear. Bruce Dern gives us a man on a mission, floating in space with 3 robot companions, trying to protect what's left of Earth's nature. Corporate orders say, blow them up, but Lowell's not having it. He takes matters into his own hands and sets off into deep space to save the domes. It's got that eco-conscious vibe, and those robots were way ahead of their time. If you're into a more introspective kind of sci-fi, this is it. In the utopian future of Logan's Run, no one makes it past 30. It's all pleasure and indulgence until your life clock crystal starts blinking, signaling your time for the ritual known as carousel. But it's not a renewal ceremony, it's a death sentence to keep population control in check. Michael York plays Logan 5, a Sandman whose job is to hunt down runners, those who refuse their fate. But when Logan himself is marked for renewal, the hunter becomes the hunted. The movie even sparked talk of a remake for years, but nothing's ever really stuck.
No! Don't go in there! You don't have to die! Well, no one has to die at 30! You can live! Live!
David Bowie's alien portrayal in The Man Who Fell to Earth is the stuff of cinematic legend. Bowie's character, Thomas Jerome Newton, arrives on Earth seeking water for his dying planet, but he gets caught up in the very human traps of greed, addiction, and isolation. It's a film that blends science fiction with a heavy dose of surrealism, and Bowie's otherworldly presence makes it impossible to look away. Behind the scenes, Bowie later admitted that he was battling his own addictions during filming, paralleling the spiral his character experiences on screen.
I don't understand how you can watch them all at the same time.
Tell me.
You know, Tommy, you're really a freak.
Do you remember the first man in your life?
I don't mean that unkindly. I like freaks. That's why I like you.
The terminal man taps into the dark side of medical experimentation. Harry Benson, played by George Segal, undergoes brain surgery to control violent seizures with a microcomputer implanted in his head. At first, it works, but soon the technology starts failing in the worst way possible. Benson becomes addicted to the machine, triggering seizures to get the rush it gives him, turning him into a dangerous killer. What makes this film even creepier is how much it foreshadowed modern debates on the ethics of merging man and machine. Imagine George Wells chasing Jack the Ripper through time, from 19th century London to 1979 San Francisco. That's the wild premise of Time After Time. Wells, played by Malcolm McDowell, uses his time machine to track down Dr. John Leslie Stevenson, who turns out to be Jack the Ripper himself. The movie balances the fantastical with a gritty manhunt as Wells struggles to navigate modern-day America. Fun fact, McDowell and co-star Mary Steenburgen met on this film and later got married, proving that even a sci-fi thriller can have a bit of romance behind the scenes.
This is delicious. Far superior to that Scottish place where I breakfasted.
Scottish.
MacDougall's.
In the brutal dystopian future of rollerball, violence is the ultimate distraction. The game of rollerball is a savage sport designed to keep the masses entertained while corporations run the world. Jonathan E., played by James Caan, is the best player there is, but when the powers that be decide it's time for him to retire, he refuses. What starts as a personal rebellion quickly turns into a symbol of defiance against a system that controls everything. The game itself, inspired by real sports like roller derby and hockey, was so intense that the director had to scale back the violence during filming.